I'm back at y'all with some more boxing. So I wanted to cover some of the upcoming fights. First, I want to start off with Adrien Broner versus this kid here, Adrien Granados. Now, as you can see from the caption at the top, Adrien Broner is a four-time division world champion, and they're going to be fighting at 140 pounds. And you can look at their stats and see how they match up. Adrien Broner is 32-2. Adrien Granados is 14-4-2. Adrien Broner has 24 knockouts at 69%, while Adrien Granados only has 12 knockouts at 50%. Weight is dead on. Adrien Granados is the taller guy with longer reach. They both fight orthodox, the right hand style, and they're both 27. So it looks pretty evenly matched. So far as all that's concerned. Adrien Broner has a 69% knockout ratio, and we already know some of his opponents, Ashley Theophane, where he won by stoppage. Khabib Alikvadiev, he won by TKO stoppage. Sean Porter, he lost by unanimous decision. John Molina Jr., it was a unanimous decision. Emmanuel Taylor was a unanimous decision also. So that's his last 5 fights. Now, I believe that Adrien Broner has a lot of talent, a lot of skill. I think he does. I think he's a very gifted athlete. I just think that Adrien Broner's his demeanor sometimes gets in the way of what he can actually accomplish in the ring. The clowning and acting like a buffoon and just being really immature turns a lot of people off to Adrien Broner. Now I understand the whole self-promotion thing, but the things that he does outside of the ring kind of leads you to believe that he's a loose cannon and that probably his better days are behind him. He says that he's more focused now and that he's more mature, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we shall see. Just scrolling slowly through his box, right? You guys can pause this at any moment if you like, to look at some of his opponents and how he did in those, how he fared in those fights basically. But now moving on to Adrien Granados. Adrien Granados, like I said, 18-4. He hasn't been knocked out. He's lost, but he hasn't been knocked out. Let's see, his 4 losses. Split decision. Let's see. Split decision loss. Let's see. Majority decision, split decision, 2 draws. So I mean, Adrien Granados. I mean, it's not a bad kid. I mean, not a bad kid at all. I didn't see the fights where he actually. I didn't see the fights where he lost. But Adrien Granados has a very rugged style. He's kind of like Marcos Maidana with his rugged, rough style. But he doesn't hit as hard as Marcos Maidana does. So we'll see. So we'll see how Adrien Broner fares with this kid. I mean, in all honesty, just now Adrien Granados has basically, he has one of those records where it's like, don't judge him purely on his record, because the kid can fight, the kid has skills. So don't judge him solely by his record. But I think that Adrien Broner has the skill. He has the skill set. He has the boxing ability and the power to actually win this fight. Will he win the fight? I mean, that's a whole other story, So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not sure how he'll do, how he'll fare, or what he'll do in this fight. But like I said, we'll just have to. Now on to Rau'shee Jr. I'm gonna read some of the articles that I found on PBC's ProBaneBoxingChampion.com on Rau'shee Jr. Rau'shee Jr. had to push himself further than ever before in his last fight to become a world champion. Now he's hoping to put in an even bigger show in his first title defense in his hometown. After beating Richard Comey in September to become a 130-pound world champion, Rau'shee Jr. received a hero's welcome in his hometown of Toledo, Ohio. After overcoming an 8th-round knockdown in September to edge Richard Comey by split decision to earn a vacant 135-pound championship in an exciting toe-to-toe clash in Reading, Pennsylvania. The action-packed bout ended up being a contender for Fight of the Year, and the thrilling 9th round was selected as Premier Boxing Champions Round of the Year. Quote, I hit Cormier with big shots from the 3rd round on, but he didn't go down, end quote, Easter said. Quote, he brought out the warrior within me. I proved I could overcome adversity to beat a tough, awkward opponent. My supporters came through before the fight, and the community's responding even more afterward, end quote. A bevy of Easter supporters made the trek to Reading's Santander Arena to watch the Toledo, Ohio native win his title. A month after returning home, the newly crowned champion received a key to the city following a parade in his honor. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I like to hear that kind of stuff. So this more than likely will be a very exciting fight. So more than likely, Rau'shee Jr. versus Luis Cruz. I think this is going to be a good fight. Rau'shee Jr. is 18-0. Luis Cruz is 22-4-1. But Rau'shee Jr. looks to have the more power with a 78% knockout percentage. They're both 135 pounds. Rau'shee Jr. is 5'11". He's almost 6 feet tall. And he has a 76-inch reach versus 72 inches for Luis Cruz, which is still pretty long. I mean, because I think Floyd Mayweather had 72-inch reach. So and I think he's probably about an inch taller than Floyd Mayweather. So they both have pretty long arms, but Rau'shee Jr. edging them out with the 4 inches. And they're both orthodox, and Rau'shee Jr. is the younger man. So here's a quick look at Rau'shee Jr.'s box rack. His what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. His last 10 fights were with almost pretty decent competition, at least judging by their records. They all seem like pretty decent competition, but it looked like he's being moved along pretty well, I think. I like Rau'shee Jr. He's a good kid, you know. He can fight. The kid can definitely fight. He's a rough, tough kid, and he has power. So this is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Luis Cruz, Puerto Rican native, 4 losses, 1 knockout. So he's been stopped once. Let's see. His 4 losses. Edna Cherry, 36-6. Got knocked. That's the fight he got knocked out in. Let's see. Joaquin Chavez, 7-13. Wow. Split decision loss in that one. Carlos Winston Velasquez, 21-18. Well, he won that fight, but let's look at the loss. Jose Felix Jr., 21-0. Unanimous decision, mandatory decision with this loss. Juan Carlos Burgos, 27-1. So, I mean, other than this kid that was 17-3, he lost a split decision. Maybe he was slipping that night, you know. But his other losses seem to be to pretty decent competition, so far as I can see. It seems to be pretty decent competition. Let's see. Let me look at Joaquin Chavez real quick. This kid has a 7% knockout ratio. That doesn't say that, you know, that this kid is, you know, some type of pushover, but the guy he lost to, look at this kid's record. That kind of speaks to itself. You know, he's upside down on the win-losses. It kind of speaks for itself. But who knows how he's going to come into this fight prepared to fight Easter. You never know. You never really can tell. It could be anybody's fight. I think Rau'shee Jr. is going to edge this one out. That's just my personal opinion. I think he might have this one in the bag. But that is yet to be seen. But I think these are going to be really good fights. I think these are going to be really, really good fights. And let's see. This is PBC right here. February 10th, Easter, Cruz, Warren, Zakyanov. That's February 10th. Friday, which is actually this weekend. Broner, Granados. February 18th. So yeah. So this is gonna be. Looks like 2017 is kind of turning out to be a pretty good year for boxing so far, and we have some of the mega fights coming later on in the year. You know, we Kell Brook and Earl Spence Jr. fight. that seems like it's set for May. I watched a video by Dante earlier. He said that's pretty much they're looking for May for that fight. So that's right around the corner. I mean, that's 3 months from now. You know, Gennady Golovkin and Daniel Jacobs about to fight in March. I think that's March 25th. I'll do another video about those bigger fights coming up a little bit later in the year. But yeah, I mean, 2017 looked like it's shaping up really good. And then let's not forget, you know, Canelo versus Chavez Jr. I'll talk a little bit about that. But so far as Robert Easter Jr. and Rau'shee Warren are concerned, these are two good fighters. They're two up-and-coming fighters, and they're both signed to Adrien Broner's About Billions promotional company. You know, so I mean, Adrien Broner may act like a clown a lot of times. You know, having his mental state, you know, being questionable a lot of times with some of the antics he pulls. But he seems to have two franchise players, you know, signed to a promotional company, which could promise to, you know, probably make him a pretty decent promoter in the future, you know, if he keeps recruiting talent of this caliber. But all of this is yet to be seen. But that's all I have right now for boxing. I'll be back more maybe later on today or probably tomorrow with another video about boxing and some of the upcoming fights. And maybe later I'll you know, do a video and basically talk about what I think about the fights and the fighters themselves, and probably do a little bit more of a breakdown of the fighters individually, and you know, just take it from there. So that's all I have for right now so far as boxing is concerned, and I'll be back with you guys later with another video about boxing. So knowledge of self-determination, like, learn, and subscribe. I'm out. Next up is Rau'shee Warren. Rau'shee Warren is fighting geez, I don't want to mangle this guy's name. He's fighting the guy Zakyanov. I think I'm saying his name right, Zakyanov. So yeah, but I like in fact, Zakyanov, he's from Kazakhstan. That's where Gennady Golovkin is from. You know, but I like Rau'shee Warren. I think Rau'shee Warren is a very skilled fighter. I think he is definitely someone to look out for. But I'm gonna read some of the article that I found on the PBC.com, and I'll leave a link in the description. Rau'shee Warren has reached the top of the 118-pound division after a long climb, and now he's getting one of the spoils by making his first title defense close to home. Rau'shee Warren won a match with Juan Carlos Payano in June to become a 118-pound world champion after losing his first title against Payano. His first title challenge against Payano in August 2015. So he actually, you know, he basically went back and redeemed himself and beat the guy who beat him. Warren, 14-1 with 4 knockouts, will put his world championship on the line against mandatory challenger Zakyanov, 26-1-18 knockouts. On February 10th at the Huntington Center in Toledo, Ohio, just 200 miles away from his lifelong home of Cincinnati. Let's see. And him and Robert Easter Jr., who will be defending his 135-pound title against Luis Cruz, will be fighting on that same card on Bounce TV at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific time. And it comes just 3 days before Warren's 30th birthday. Rau'shee Warren, the only boxer to represent the United States in 3 Olympics, says defending his crown at home alongside Easter will be a surreal experience. It will mark just the second time Warren has fought professionally in his home state. The first was the victory over Jose Luis Araiza in Cincinnati in September 2014. Quote, as amateurs, me and Robert dreamed about fighting as professional champions on the same card, end quote, Warren says. Quote, and now all of Ohio is coming out to see us, end quote. Let's see, to prepare for Zakyanov, Warren returned to Barry Hunter's Headbangers Gym in Washington, D.C. for a second straight training camp. The 5'4.5" champion also prepped. What's that? I guess that looks like a typo. I guess also prepared there last year for his title rematch against fellow southpaw Juan Carlos Payano. So I think this is going to be a pretty exciting fight. Like I said, I like Rau'shee Warren. I think the kid is I think the kid can fight. You know, I think he brings a lot to the table. Personally, I really do. And I like to see, you know, what's going to happen in this fight. I'm very, very curious as to see how this fight is going to turn out. Rau'shee Warren, this is his box rec. 421 with 0 knockouts. Let's see. 94 rounds. So this is a little bit of his box rec, so you can see who he's fought. He's fought see, like, the kid only has 15 fights, so his box rec isn't all that extensive. But he's beaten guys with a lot of fights and a lot of experience. Like I said, Rau'shee Warren is an unknown commodity. However, I think the kid is very talented, and I think he can fight. I don't know much about his opponent, Zanat Zakyanov. I don't know much about this guy, but it wouldn't hurt me to actually, you know, do a little bit of, you know, film study on this kid and actually see what he brings to the table and how he'll probably fare against Rau'shee Warren. I think it'll probably be a decent fight. I can't say who I think will win at the moment. I would like to see Rau'shee Warren win. I like the kid. I think he's very humble. I think he's a very mature guy, and I think that he's good for boxing. You know, I think he has a good style. He has really quick hands. He's athletic. So yeah, I think it's a good fight. I think the fight is definitely one to look out for, and it will be on Bounce TV. So definitely check for that fight, guys. I think it's going to be a good one. I think Rau'shee Warren may come out with the victory, but he's fighting a more experienced guy with more pop than he has. You know, the kid Zakyanov has a 67% knockout ratio. So I don't know. He's taller. He has the reach advantage, but he's orthodox, and Rau'shee Warren is southpaw. So this is probably going to be an interesting fight just because it's two opposite styles fighting. So yeah, hopefully Rau'shee Warren, you know, comes home with the victory. But if not, you know, I'm sure it'll probably be an exciting fight.